This is your 20-minute podcast, where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Welcome back to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, and our special guest today is Lindsay Phillips from SS Online Support. Hey, Lindsay, how's Canada this morning?
It is feeling like spring. The mornings are brighter, and it's not as dark right after dinner, so I am feeling like there's like a new breath of life in here. Nice.
Yeah, I'm ready for spring. I'm kind of over it, you know?
Exactly.
So Smooth Sailing Online Support is really the name of Lindsay's company. She's a serial entrepreneur, a self-professed organizational freak. I like that. Client-appointed taskmaster, plus Project Ninja and Warrior VA, which I assume is virtual assistant, but I don't know that for sure. Is that right?
That is true, and they're the names that some of my clients have given me.
I like it. So what does a virtual assistant do, actually, in your realm of the world?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different kinds of VAs, so it is a really, really broad term. I mean, there's some VAs that strictly do, scheduling and working on your calendar, emails, quotes, helping with customer service. And there's some VAs that focus strictly on web-based stuff. The options out there to get support online is absolutely massive. For me, though, David, I'm actually in the midst of rebranding my business slightly. So I've just kind of discovered over the past, year, 8 months, that what I love to do and have a passion for is content marketing. So our company is kind of niching down so that our VA, if you will, focus is strictly content marketing. So your blogs, videos, podcasts, social media, email marketing, sales funnels, and of course, online events and your lead magnets to attract and acquire business.
And that makes all the sense in the world as rapidly as the technology is changing and businesses need to ramp up, especially those who don't even know what content marketing is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think some people too, they know the term, and Lord knows there's a lot of terms out there, right. Online marketing, social media marketing, content marketing, inbound marketing. And basically, just to really simplify it, it's all that content, the material value that you're giving people through all the different mediums. I mean, not everyone has a podcast show. So some people deliver it through videos. Some people, let people know, give tips, share their knowledge, share their expertise through blogs or lead magnets, so like an ebook or a video series, whatever it may be. But basically, you're sharing all that good stuff that and you're sharing with the world, how awesome you are and how you can serve them by giving them free resources and free stuff.
And that's what we're all looking for, is something free to help us grow our business, right?
Exactly. That's how I started out.
Good for you. So how do you do that? I mean, an entrepreneur says, man, I need to understand this content marketing. What Lindsay's talking about makes all the sense in the world. I don't know how to get from A to B, let alone A to Z.
I know. I totally get that a lot. And I think there are so many options, right, David? I mean, there's, so many social media platforms. There is different video hosting. There's different ways of doing podcasts. There's blogs. And they're like, oh, my God, how am I going to get all this done? Where do I start? They're just, I think, even stuck. They aren't moving forward because they're like, they don't even know where to begin. And for me, and I've said this to a number of clients recently, too. It's like, okay, breathe.
Right.
And don't feel that you need to do it all at once. Start with having consistent social media marketing, ensuring that you're engaging with people on a regular basis. Make sure that you have a blog that's going out consistently. I mean, some people do it once a day. Some people do it, once a week. Even if you're doing it twice a month and you're consistently sharing it, that's a start. And then if you can do 2 videos a month, and then once you kind of get into the rhythm, you get a routine going, and get your confidence, then you can do one a week, and then maybe from there you're like, hey, I'm rocking it out on video and blogs. I've got tons of content ideas in my head. I could totally start a podcast show. So you're kind of stepping into it slowly.
That makes all the sense in the world. And do you lead them by the hand through that? Do you do the content marketing with them, for them? How does all that piece together?
Yeah, that's a good question. because some people are not skilled at writing blogs or they just don't want to, they don't have the time. That is an easily outsourced item. I mean, I do have some clients that they love to write. They have so much content, so much stuff written. You can pull stuff from a book that they've written. So it's just finding, it's like, okay, what do you like to do? What do you not like to do? What makes sense financially? Like, let's say someone's hourly value is, $200 an hour. It doesn't make sense for them to, post a blog when they could outsource that for a cheaper rate.
You bet.
And then so I manage all the moving pieces. You give me your video, I will set it up in YouTube, do all the back end, promote it. I obviously proof the material with my clients in regards to the social media content, but I'm the one that's doing all the back end stuff. So you create the content or use a copywriter, and then I do all that back end stuff in the website and promote it out to the right channels.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, that takes a huge burden off a lot of business people.
Oh, yeah.
Especially those that don't have the confidence to even put their toe in the water. You're kind of say, hey, come on, jump in, let's go.
Absolutely. And you know what, honestly, and I hate videos. I hate putting myself out there. If I can be on podcast shows, if I can do videos, anybody can. And be confident in what what you have to share. People have value in that. They want more of it. So, and just once you start, it's just the starting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Get your confidence after you start.
Yeah, you gotta ease your fear enough to at least take that first step.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to be consistent with as little or as much as you're comfortable with.
Exactly. And just know that your first couple of podcasts or your first couple of videos, like, they're going to suck, and that's okay.
Right. We call that a learning curve back in the day.
I know. And then, once you get a bunch under your belt, then you can remove the old ones that you hate.
Right.
But at least you're starting, and you have to start somewhere.
So let's say somebody gets a hold of you and they don't know what they don't know. And they say, well, can you help me with the blogs? Can you help me with the videos? I mean, do you have a team that does all that stuff, or do you encourage them to outsource it through other people? Or how do you put the pieces together for a novice?
For sure. I mean, it's funny. In the past 6 months or so, I have been doing a lot more strategic coaching, if you will, on getting people from A to B, because it can be overwhelming. And it's, brainstorming sessions on different topics. And honestly, reusing the same content. So if you have a great article idea and then you want to write it, or I have copywriters on staff, so we outsource that. You can take that one article and create an easy 3-minute video from that, if not 2 videos from that. Podcasts, it would be, you can easily create a podcast from that as well if it's host only, or,
right.
Interview style is kind of a different ballgame, but reusing that same content, you can create social media posts, probably about 8 of them just from one blog alone. So it's kind of knowing some of those tricks. And I just try to scale it in for the client, say, just focus on the blog. Like, if you can write one blog, then I'm going to tell you to do XYZ by such and such a date, and then I'll take care of the rest, and then you can breathe and it's done.
Wow. That is a huge sigh of relief when somebody doesn't know what they're doing.
It is. And I think sometimes people feel like they need to do stuff every day. But it's like, I have one client where it's like, okay, the first week of every month, you need to give me 2 blog topics. Once we have those topics, you need to do a couple of videos. And then they record their podcast as well. So they have the first week of every month where they kind of know to schedule it in their scheduler that they have to do those things. Mm-hmm. And then I take care of the rest, proof them at the end of the month for their social media, and then away it goes. So it's a very well-oiled machine, and it's very methodical.
It sounds like it. It has to be structured, yet it has to be simple.
It has to be. And then honestly, for the clients, I mean, I do it too, obviously, but for the clients, it's like if you have one day a month where you have a video script or a rough outline of certain topics that you want to cover, and then you just take 2 hours and do a whole whack of videos, you're done. That's it. You don't have to think about it.
It's interesting because I do voiceover work as my profession. And so I have, I put up some of my commercials, TV commercials that I do. I put those up on my YouTube channel, and I have a video for my business that I put up there. But as you're saying that, I'm going, my gosh, I could take the dozens and dozens and dozens of blogs I've written over the last few years and just really create some interesting videos. I never even thought about it. Never even thought about it.
Yep. Reuse what you got.
Yeah. Recycle, and don't try to reinvent the wheel and make it as simple as you can, right?
Because really, a lot of people, like for me, I love to read. I love blogs. Some people love to watch videos. So you also got to think about how different people learn differently as well and which avenue they're going to come in on. So if you're only focusing on one channel or just blogs, you're missing a whole pool of people that love videos.
Absolutely right. In sales, obviously the sales game is to kind of push everything towards the sales funnel, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
So the biggest part of sales funnels when it comes to email marketing. But if you do look at it literally as an actual funnel, and you have all these what I call entry points. So your social media platforms are entry points. Your website is an entry point. Same with, let's say you have a lead magnet on your website. You've got Facebook ads out there for XYZ. They are all your entry points. And so if someone lands in one of them, like your social media, you want to offer them something to get on your e-list. You want them to get fully engaged. You want them to click. You want them to comment. You want them to share. So there's tricks and tips to do that. So let's say, for instance, your blog. So at the end of your blog, you always want to have a call to action. Whether it's, hey, if you enjoyed this topic of XYZ, I bet you'd really like a free report on this. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I would like that. And then they sign up right there, get them while they're hot right on that blog page. Some people, of course, have specific pop-ups that only occur on blog or podcast post pages. Mm-hmm. So then you can track too who's, watching your blogs and stuff like that. But again, a little pop-up, hey, if you're interested in this, maybe you'd like to sign up for my online webinar.
If they're reading a blog, I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you're reading my blog, and there's a pop-up that comes up on my blog?
Yeah, so you can have it timed so that like when someone's reading your blog, like it doesn't pop up right away because that'll just annoy them. But let's say they're, 3 minutes in or whatever the timing is. So they're about 3/4 of the way through reading your blog, and then a pop-up comes up and, hey, maybe you'd like to join this webinar, or maybe you'd like this checklist. Maybe you'd like to join my newsletter list.
How fascinating. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You're pulling them in and you're hooking them with your content and giving them free resources, but then you always want to have a call to action in some way via those entry points.
Absolutely. So you want the call to action, you want them to take advantage of whatever the free information is that you have so that they have a reason to connect with you and you continue to reach out to them over time, right?
Exactly. And then, email marketing is a whole nother strategy. You want to nurture them, send them free content here and there, let them know when you've got free webinars. Again, the more engaged they get with you and your content, the further down the funnel they're naturally going to get. That person does really know what they're talking about when it comes to, let's just say video marketing.
Right.
I think I'd like to get into that. And, they're going to be top of mind, so they're going to contact you.
That's terrific. I love that process. And you've obviously been working at this for a while to get it as streamlined and as simple as you possibly can for the end user.
Yeah, and I do. I'm always learning as well myself, right? Because like you said earlier, things are changing so much and there are so many options. I studied like Ryan Dice, and he's got his indoctrination series, an engagement series, and a tripwire to pull them down the funnel. Frank Kern and his sales funnels, they're a lot more elaborate and kind of spider out there a little bit more. So I do pay attention to, what those big entrepreneurs are doing, how they're doing it. I find it interesting. There are so many different strategies out there and it can be overwhelming. So it's what fits you, your personality style, but also your target market and what, some strategies may turn them off and some would be a good fit.
Right. So that's a matter of you getting with the business owner and learning more about their business, their philosophy, their personality, just really having a solid conversation about what's going on, what they've been doing, what they need to do.
Exactly. Because I have one client and his target market, they're very blue collar. So they're not necessarily email or techie savvy. So what's going to attract them is going to be completely different than, let's say, me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So on your bio on the list of 27,000 things that you offer businesses, it might be a slight exaggeration, but not much, right? So you talk about starting your own podcast and how you can use a podcast to grow your business. So you've got a step-by-step process for those who are kind of interested in it but really don't know what to do.
I do. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to A, set it up.
Right.
And then B, to kind of, launch it, if you will. If you simplify it down, it's not that bad. It's just kind of knowing what those steps are up front.
Yeah.
But podcasts, I don't know if you remember the commercial way back when, and she told two friends and so on and so on.
Right, right.
But that's pretty much what a podcast does. I mean, I love it because I love connecting with other, hosts or my guests, or, you find out, you just meet so many cool people. I love that part of it. But it's like, and they're sharing it and other people are sharing it. So it extends your exposure.
Yeah.
So many more people can find out about who you are and what you do, and you can serve so many more people exponentially.
Well, it's like way back in the day, and it's still true today, but back in the day, the primary form of success was word of mouth, and this is really word of mouth on steroids,
Exactly. And so many people are on the go, and they're listening to podcasts in the car, and at the gym, while they're working out, even while they're, getting the kids ready in the morning, and they're kind of listening to like a mommy podcast or whatever it may be. But people want help. They want resources, or they want something that's amusing, or even just inspiring, right? Like you have to be in the right mindset, and you can do it, whatever that may be, and just hearing people's success stories, and people eat it up. They love it. Absolutely.
They want something to help get them excited and be excited about going to work the next day and figuring out something to grow their business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you and they don't know what they don't know about working with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
For sure. Thanks for asking. So, I have two sites. So one is LyndsayPhillips.com. I so wish I was Ann Smith.
I know, right? Yeah.
So it's LyndsayPhillips.com. So there's like my podcast show, my videos, my blog. So tons of really great resources in regards to my business side and how I can help other entrepreneurs grow their business. That is ssonlinesupport.com. And I do have a great client attraction system, so 8 easy to implement content marketing strategies to attract more clients and grow your business. So if they go to ssonlinesupport.com/client attraction, they can easily grab that guide as well. It's free.
How cool. I'm doing that in 3 minutes. No.
Awesome.
Lindsay Phillips is smooth sailing online support, and she's helping emerging entrepreneurs be more efficient, productive, and profitable in their business. And be sure to log on to either one of her websites, Lindsay Phillips, LYNDSAY Phillips.com, or ssonlinesupport.com, and see what she could do to help you. It's obviously you've had great success, and people need to reach out to you. Congratulations on your success.
Thanks so much, David.
Lindsay Phillips, our special guest. You've been listening to your 20-minute podcast with Dave Brower. We hope you'll follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/your 20-minute podcast.
Until next time, don't forget to download your free audiobook at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. That's audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast for your free audiobook. And thanks for listening to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower.